Good morning, my respected judges on the stage and my dear friends. Today I am here to present my paper on a rare case of sino-orbitocebral mucormycosis in an immunocompetent infant. Sino-orbitocebral mucormycosis has been very rarely seen in infants, very few case studies describing the same. The disease might mimic orbital cellulitis or tumor, hence it may be difficult to diagnose. We hereby describe the case of a 1-year-old immunocompetent male child suffering from this disease. He underwent exenteration and FES along with systemic antifungal therapy due to extensive involvement of orbit, paranasal sinuses and cavernous sinus. So the purpose of the study is to discuss the clinical course, treatment and prognosis of an immunocompetent infant male diagnosed and treated for sino-orbitocebral mucormycosis. So the method is case report. It's of a single case. A 1-year-old male child presented to IOPD at ESIC Medical College and Hospital Faridabad with abaxial proptosis of the right eye since 1 month. The proptosis was associated with chemosis and mild discharge. There was mild corneal exposure and pupils were fixed and dilated. The extraocular movements were very severely restricted in all the cases. The proptosis was also associated with the swelling of the cheek on the right side. The overlying skin appeared tense and there were prominent vessels all over. On palpation, the proptosis was tender, non-reducible, non-compressible, and the mass was firm in consistency. The mass was extending up to the right maxillary region and involved the upper jaw and palate on the right side. The patient had earlier consulted another hospital where his MRI of brain and orbits was done. Also, a biopsy of the mass was taken in the previous hospital. The first MRI was suggestive of well-circumscribed intracorneal mass in the medial right orbit causing anterolateral displacement of the right globe and lateral displacement of the optic nerve, likely neoplastic. Then the biopsy report came, which was suggestive of fungal elements in the samples indicating or suggestive of mucormycosis. The patient was admitted in the pediatric department of our college and IV amphotericin B was empirically started. Now we did the immunodeficiency profile of this child. The viral markers were negative and the immunological profile was normal. The viral markers of the patient's parents were also negative and neither of them were known diabetics or had deranged blood sugar levels. The workup for leukemia and other hematological malignancy was negative, nor did the child have lymphoma or any other malignancy. The patient did not respond to systemic antifungals and IV antibiotics. The patient then underwent FES and endoscopic orbital decompression. However, there was consistent increase in the proptosis despite treatment. Patient was then given retrobulbar amphotericin B injection twice. Initially, the patient responded to the first dose. However, there was no improvement later on. The repeat CECT done at this stage was suggestive of ill-defined, mildly enhancing soft tissue lesion in the right intracorneal and extracorneal space, which was measuring approximately 33 into 26 into 45 millimeters, displacing the right orbit anteriorly and laterally. The lesion was infiltrating the optic nerve laterally. Medially was infiltrating the nasal cavity with rarefactions of the medial orbital wall and anterior wall of the maxillary sinus. Inferiorly, it was extending up to the masticator space, measuring approximately 3.6 into 3.6 centimeters. Superiorly, there was intracranial involvement through the orbital fissure with bulging of the cavernous sinus, measuring approximately 18 into 13 millimeters. Laterally, the lesion was involving the skin. There was also involvement of the right ethmoid and maxillary sinuses. All these findings were suggestive of further worsening despite debridement, retrobulbar amphotericin B injections, and IV antifungals. Hence, total orbital exenteration was planned in this child. So this is the image of the child. This is the picture of the child. He's a 1-year-old male infant. And as you can see, there is marked proptosis, swelling and fullness in the temporal region, and also in the right side cheek region. So this is the axial CECT image, which is showing diffuse periorbital, orbital and periorbital and optic nerve infiltration by the mucor with marked proptosis. And this is a histopathological image of the orbital tissue showing branch aseptate hyphae. The result of this study is the total orbital exentration of the child was done in general anesthesia under very high risk consent. The child started improving after exentration. He remained stable till 1 month post surgery, and he was followed up and regular dressings was done in this child, but he was lost to follow up after 1 month. So conclusion is orbital mucormycosis is rarely reported in immunocompetent infants. High rate of morbidity and mortality makes it necessary to be diagnosed at the earliest and to be treated aggressively. Exentration does help in improving the condition and may be life-saving. However, it increases the morbidity and requires a long course of rehabilitation. Thank you very much for your patient listening.
Thank you, Dr. Sachi. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
How did you make the initial diagnosis, and was any culture done for this fungus?
Yes, sir.
Because mucor,
The diagnosis was histopathological, in
Yeah.
which we could see the branch dissectate hyphae, as I've shown in my picture.
yeah.
Initially
so this was at the time of the exentration, or this was a prior biopsy that
So
you did when
prior
you
to
had a
biopsy,
retrobulbar
from nasal route,
From
the
the nasal,
ENT people did
yeah.
the biopsy, and from that we made the diagnosis of Maker.
Was it cultured?
Yes, sir.
Was the
Yes, sir. It was
specimen
cultured also.
cultured?
Both
Did it grow?
microbiological and histopathological examination was done.
So did it grow one of the zygomycetes, or it did not grow anything on culture?
Sir, culture में nothing definitive came out.
Nothing definitely came
Yes.
from culture. Okay. The other problem is your child was treated up to 1 month, right?
The child was very malnourished, marasmic.
No, I understand that, but you have a child whose orbit has been exenterated, but there is extension of disease into the cavernous sinus. So you already have CNS involvement.
Yes, sir. We already had CNS
Almost
involvement
lost
at the time of exentration. So prognosis was already very poor, and he was given IV amphotericin B for a long time, around 1.5 months, and even after exentration. But then he was discharged on oral fosagomazole, and then we lost him to follow.
What do you think is the cause of this case? This is not common in immunocompetent people. What is the
Ma'am,
cause?
it is very, in fact, mucormycosis per se is very uncommon in children.
Yes.
Especially in infants, it's very rarely reported. There's a case study in which around 5 infants they have reported by Amanati et al. In BMC Journal of Infectious Diseases. But there was as such no risk factor. He was fine. In fact, his weight was also good when he was prior to his diagnosis. There were as such no signs of malnourishment or any kind of any immunocompromise. But there has been postulations that exposure to hay or fodder in house might be a reason. So since he lived in village, we concluded that it might be a possible source.
Thank you, Dr. Sachi. Let me
Thank you,
help you to put in a few more radiological images. The CT which you showed, the sinus actually is clear. The Ekman sinus is completely clear. So it looks like it's completely intraorbital only. We can't see any spread from the
So it was
sinus.
actually post-fest, maybe.
No, the sinus was normal. There's no signs of fest being done. I think it's a pre-op CT. Anyway, thank you so much for your question.